goes a long way. It means a lot, and it does not go unnoticed. So thank you so much. Tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live, the Avengers films, Secret Wars, and whatever the fifth one's going to be called, may have just gotten their directors, and they are familiar faces to the MCU. Chris Stuckmann's directorial debut film, Shelby just got a massive piece of news that we're going to talk about. And Kevin Costner's Horizon, which didn't do so great in theaters, may have found a new home with Netflix. All that and more tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live. You're here, I'm here, so you know what? What are we even delaying for? The show starts right now. Before we get started with tonight's show, I gotta thank the awesome super chatters from last week's episode, The Ace Avenue and Jason Entertainment. Both of these guys have great YouTube channels of their own. They are phenomenal creators, and they both cover movies, TV, as well as sports. So if you're a big fan of movies, TVs, and sports, check out their links down in the description below. Go check out their channels. And guys, thank you so much for all your support towards the channel. It goes a long way. It means a lot, and it does not go unnoticed. So thank you so much. Tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live, the Avengers films, Secret Wars, and whatever the fifth one's going to be called, may have just gotten their directors, and they are familiar faces to the MCU. Chris Stuckmann's directorial debut film, Shelby just got a massive piece of news that we're going to talk about. And Kevin Costner's Horizon, which didn't do so great in theaters, may have found a new home with Netflix. All that and more tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live. You're here, I'm here, so you know what? What are we even delaying for? The show starts right now. And we're 12 minutes in late. The new summer hours are going well. What's going on, guys? Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us for Zach Milne Talks Live. If you're here for the first time, if you're not here, even if you're not here, thanks for joining us. If you're here for the very first time, big welcome to you. This is the show where we talk about some movie news that's going around. We have some fun. We talk about movies. It's all good. It's all fun. And we're very happy to have you here. Also, if you're new, part of the show is we take live comments and questions throughout the entire show. You don't have to send in a super chat to get your comment or question answered, but if you do want to support the show on that kind of level, we do have a super chat guide here. So I know a lot of you guys have channels of your own, so I want to help you guys out by helping our channel out. For $1.99, you get community posts made linking to your channel at the end of the show. For $2.99, you get the community post as well as the link to your channel in the description of this video. And for $4.99 or more, you get a community post linked in the description and a video shout out like you saw at the beginning of this episode. But not just a link in the description of this video, you get the link of your channel in the video after this one. And it also applies to super thanks as well. I'm not gonna lie, guys, it is hot as balls here. It is. I'm very hot. I'm very hot right now. It is probably, what is it? It's 41 degrees Celsius outside. It's 41 degrees Celsius outside right now, and my AC broke at the end of last week. So it's hot, to put it frankly. It's hot. I may or may not be wearing pants. I'm not going to disclose that. That's not what this kind of show is. Some of you would argue it probably is what this kind of show is. But what the show is, we're going to talk about movie news, all that predetermined topics we're going to talk about. But in between those, we're going to take your live comments and questions. And if you are tuning in for the first time, or maybe you missed last week, we do in fact have some new summer hours. This is just for the summer because there's lots going on during the summertime, and I don't mind going to bed a little earlier when it's really hot out. So for the remainder of summer until September, I don't know when in September, I haven't fully decided, but it is going to be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to no later than 8:30 is kind of what I'm aiming for. If you're on Central Time, it's 8 p.m. to 10:30, and Eastern Standard Time is 9 p.m. to 11:30, which I know a lot of you guys stay up late to watch the show anyways, so I appreciate all you guys' time given in that regard. But there's a little bit of a break for you and for me with the time, and maybe we keep it this time. I don't know. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. But with all the house cleaning out of the way, let's get into your comments and questions and see who's here tonight. See who's joining us. And first of all, I want to shout out Lizbeth. What's going on, Lizbeth? It's been a minute. Thank you so much for joining us, Lizbeth. We've missed you in the chat around here. So what's up, Zach? Don't know if you remember me, but it's been a while. Oh, I remember you, Lizbeth. Lizbeth has been a part of the channel, or at least a part of the live shows since the very first episode, I want to say. I think since the very first episode, Lisbeth has been here, which was the unofficial episode of my 500 subscriber live discussion on the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. So she's been here for a long time, and I appreciate you so much, Lisbeth, and good to see you back in here. I hope you've been doing well. We also have to go to our super chat because I just saw that we had a super chat from, of course, the Ace Avenue. What's going on, Ace? Thanks for joining us, man. Thank you so much for the generous support of the $5 super chat, dude. Very, very appreciated. Says, this time next week will be less than 24 hours until Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's go. Yeah, let's effing go, man. I'm so stoked. Next week will be Deadpool Eve. For a lot of people, including myself, I'm seeing it Thursday night. I'm so excited. And I've got tickets for Friday night as well. I'm going back to back, man. Back-to-back showings, and I could not be more excited for Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm chomping at the bit, man. I'm just ready. I've been watching interviews with Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, and just like their chemistry in the interviews alone is like, give me this movie right now. I cannot wait to see it. And so now going to the top, we also have the Ace Avenue saying the return of the Russos. They are here to restore the MCU to its former glory. We will talk about that very soon, my friend. 80s Kid from the 90s. What's going on, 80s Kids? He says, oh, dude, I'm so sorry, man. My condolences to you. Absolutely. That I can't even imagine. All I can do is let you know that my thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. I'm so sorry to hear about the passing of your father, man. Yeah, I hope you're doing okay, man. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us for the show tonight, despite all this. And hopefully we can just have a good time and have a little bit of an escape, man. But yeah, my condolences, my thoughts, my prayers. Absolutely, 80s Kid. Trev's Movies. What's going on? Trev says, I bought the merch and special thanks package for Shelby Oaks, so my name is gonna pop up somewhere in the movie. That's awesome, dude. I thought about doing that. I wanted to do that. I couldn't afford to do that. As you say right here, Trev's Movie, it costs $250. Worth it. It would be worth it, but I just don't have that kind of money right now to throw at Chris Stuckmann and his movie. But I'm very excited for him. We'll talk about his movie in just a little bit here. Age Gift from the 90s says, I couldn't do it, Zach. I just had to see how the finale for The Acolyte turned out. Yeah, look, everyone, it's Darth Plagueis. I heard about that, too. It should have been a movie instead of a show. This show was just time wasted. Yeah, I haven't seen the finale yet. Well, I started watching the finale. I'm 10 minutes in, and then I had the opportunity to go hang out with family, and I felt like that was something I'd rather do than watch The Acolyte. So I turned it off and did that. So I have not finished the show. I'm caught up on everything until the finale, and I don't think the finale is going to turn anything around for me. Just personally, I don't see it happening. Nathan Dreaded Movies, what's going on? Nathan, thanks for joining us. He says, hi, Zach. What have you seen for the first time recently? I saw Beverly Hills Cop 1. Good movie. Fistful of Dollars. Great movie. Twilight. So bad it's good. Naked Gun. Love the Naked Gun. After Earth. Oh, you poor guy. Unbreakable. Awesome. Split. Awesome. And Die Hard with a Vengeance. Die Hard 3. Yeah, man. Die Hard with a Vengeance is probably, honestly, my favorite Die Hard movie. I know that, like, the first one is classic and untouchable. I totally get that. I really like Die Hard with a Vengeance, though. And the relationship and the dynamic between Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson in that is great. And I like exploring the city more. Yeah, I really like Die Hard with a Vengeance. As far as what I've watched recently, I watched I Am Sam for the first time. Sean Penn, and Dakota Fanning. Watched it over at my folks' place, and that was nice. That was a good movie. A sweet little movie. Kind of heartbreaking, but good little feel-good movie in the end. So I Am Sam, and I also watched Twister, because Twisters is coming up. So I watched the first Twister last night. Not gonna lie, kind of just on it. It felt like a movie. First of all, it was the 90s, so the visual effects haven't aged all that greatly, and I do feel like it's a movie that put all of its bank on being a spectacle, and now that the spectacle is kind of worn off or didn't age as well for someone like me in 2024 who's watching it for the first time, I didn't really care too much about the characters or the relationships, and yeah, I don't know. Not a huge Twister fan, I found out. Not a huge Twister fan. Hopefully Twisters is better, because I am going to go see that tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. When am I going to see that? I'm seeing that on Friday. Seeing that on Friday. Nathan's Random Movies says, which do you prefer, Deadpool or Deadpool 2? I would go 2 because it still has the fun, but also character journeys and emotional beats that surprised me. Yeah, Deadpool and Deadpool 1, we just covered on a Members Talk Live. We have been going through the Deadpool movies. We're going to be talking about Logan this Saturday, so super excited about that as well. Which, guys, if you want to become a member of the $6.99 tier, you can actually join us on camera Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do Members Talk Live. We find topics and we just talk about it, and then we edit the show and put it up on Monday. So if you want to be a part of that, if you want to talk Logan with us on Saturday, check out the description down below. It's got all the information. We just ask that you're 18 and up if you're going to join us on camera. That's all we ask. But yeah, we just finished going through Deadpool and Deadpool 2. I think I might give the edge to Deadpool, the first one, which I feel like I liked Deadpool 2 more than the first one before I rewatched them back to back, but I feel like the first one is just tighter. I do think the jokes, they just come at you more frequently and they hit a little bit more, and I think it has a better villain dynamic between Deadpool and Ajax, whereas Deadpool 2, there isn't really a villain in it. Everyone's just kind of misunderstood, and I really like Deadpool 2. Don't get me wrong, you can go listen to those discussions over on the channel now, but I think I'm gonna have to give the edge to the first one. Trev's Movies says, now that it's over, thoughts on The Acolyte as a whole. I haven't watched it myself because, well, it sucks. Also, you know a show is bad when Jeremy Johns has a drink in every video he done it. I love Jeremy Johns. I love his videos so much. Yeah, no, I haven't finished The Acolyte, like I said. I really don't see the finale turning anything around for me. I've turned on every character. I didn't love them to begin with, but now I'm just like, I don't like anybody. I literally look at the screen as I watch the show. I've seen 7 episodes, except for episode 8. I haven't finished the show yet, but every time I put an episode on and I watch it, I don't like anybody on screen. Don't care about May. Don't care about Osha. I don't like Saul. I know everyone was giving Saul the praise. He was the best thing about the show. I don't like Saul. Never really got on the Saul train. And there's decision after decision after decision that all these characters make that I just don't like them. Even the villain, even the main Sith guy, I'm just kind of like, why are you here? Why are you here? He's not bad. The actor himself isn't bad. None of the actors are bad in the show. Let's get that straight. None of the actors are bad in The Acolyte. They've just been given nothing to work with. Their character motivations are trash, if they even get any. And the pacing on this show is killing me. I understand how they wanted to show the perspective from the Jedi in episode 7, going back to Brendok, but I was just like, we're going back to this again. I just, yeah, I don't know. Depending on how the finale turns out, I will say the second half of the season was better than the first half, because I didn't like a single episode up until episode 5. I thought 5 was okay because it had some really cool lightsaber battles and they killed Yord, so I was fine with that. And then episode 7 was fine, but it wasn't like it added entirely jaw-dropping new information to me. I just kind of felt like, oh, we're going back to Brendok again, like, oh, what's going on? So yeah, I think the pacing has been atrocious. I think the characters have been terribly written. I think the plotting's sloppy, and I really don't see a finale turning all that around for me. So I don't think I'm giving my endorsement to The Acolyte, if I'm being honest with you. 80s Kid from the 90s says, let's see if we can figure this out together. Why do shows like The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and Andor feel like classic Star Wars? Even the upcoming series Skeleton Crew sounds like classic Star Wars. I mean, look, you have to also acknowledge too, Mandalorian had some connections to the Empire and all that kind of stuff, which is from classic. Like, when people say classic Star Wars, are they including the prequels, or are they just talking about the original trilogy? Because for me, classic Star Wars would be the original trilogy. I do think the prequels, like, fit in with, like, that's George Lucas's Star Wars to me, is the prequels, and the original trilogy is George Lucas's Star Wars. But when I say classic Star Wars, I'm talking about the original trilogy, which with The Mandalorian, you've got an original trilogy type setting. You've got the fallout of the Empire kind of going on. It feels practical. You're on Tatooine a lot of the time, so there's a lot of familiar classic Star Wars imagery also happening there. Ahsoka, you also have to take into account, we got literally Anakin Skywalker in the show. It's tied to the Skywalkers, which is classic Star Wars. And Andor, once again, is dealing with the rebellion. It's dealing with the Empire. It's got No, sorry. I was gonna say it's got Darth Vader, but that's Rogue One. It doesn't have Darth Vader, but it's in the same setting as Darth Vader. It's in the same time period as Darth Vader and the Empire and all that kind of stuff. So it literally has the elements from classic Star Wars. Whereas a show like this with Acolyte, it's all new characters. It's pretty much all new settings except for some shots of Coruscant. But other than that, there's really nothing that is tying this to classic Star Wars. But yeah, I still have a question of what people mean when they say it doesn't feel like Star Wars. Like, I've used that myself. I've said that too. But what do we mean when we say that? When we say it doesn't feel like Star Wars, what are we saying it doesn't feel like? I'm not quite sure. Age of the 90s, even Boba Fett felt like classic Star Wars. I mean, like, again, you got Boba Fett in there. Literally, Luke Skywalker popped up. Like, yeah, it's hard. Age of the 90s says, but why do Acolyte and Kenobi not feel like Star Wars? I would say that Kenobi felt like Star Wars to me. It felt like prequel Star Wars. It felt like it fit, especially the first episode of Kenobi. I felt like it was a good lead-in from Revenge of the Sith. Like, when I watched Revenge of the Sith and then watched the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi, it feels so natural. And I actually really like the first episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's the rest of the show that just kind of goes downhill until that finale, and you get that awesome moment between Obi-Wan and Anakin and Vader. But once again, that's characters that were in the prequels, literally tied to classic Star Wars. I just think that, like, yeah, Acolyte's just not doing it for me. Trev's Movie says, so I found out that there was a 4K Blu-ray of Godzilla -1, but it's from Japan and it cost $100 on eBay. I bet it would. I also don't think it's going to get an American release because both versions are on Netflix, and there are numerous foreign films that went straight to Netflix and still don't have an American Blu-ray release. RRR is a great example. I actually am thinking about buying the Japanese release because I'm a dumb, and I also because it apparently does come with English subtitles. Screw the English dub. I can do English dubs with animation, but not live action unless I have to. Yeah, I mean, that sucks that it's not going to be coming out in America, which I think is a shame because people are clamoring for it. There's a market there for people who want to have Godzilla -1. So I don't know why they won't do it, but apparently they won't do it. Yeah, if you can get that Japan release, I mean, honestly, not gonna lie to you, $100. I mean, we all know I spent more than that on the first season of Stranger Things, which cost like $20 for a lot of you people. So I honestly think $100 to get that is worth the sacrifice if you can afford it, especially if it comes with like an English dub or English subtitles. 80s Given 90 says, do you feel like Marvel is really pushing things now that Avengers 5 is supposed to release in 2026? Plus, Armor Wars is not even released yet. I'm not going to lie to you. I give it like an 80% chance that Armor Wars is canceled. I really don't. I don't know if they're moving forward with Armor Wars. I really don't. There's been no word on it ever since they announced that they were going to make it a movie, which was like a year and a half ago, I think they announced that, or at least a year ago. They announced that they were going to make it into a movie, and then there's been no movement and no discussion on it whatsoever since then. So I don't know that they're moving forward with Armor Wars. And I also don't know if it's a great idea to move forward with Armor Wars. I don't know if people would be excited for that. As far as the Avengers goes, I mean the 2026 deadline, they got to get moving on it if they want to hit that 2026. But you also, like, the Avengers is like their bread and butter. Like, those are their big event movies. That is what they expect people to come out with. Like, that is a $2 billion franchise, almost a $2 billion movie franchise, So, I don't blame them for trying to rush out Avengers 5, but I will say they haven't done a real good job building up to Avengers 5, and they haven't done a real good job planting the seeds for Avengers 5, at least not yet. We'll see what happens with these movies moving forward, but as far as they're going now, I don't know if Avengers 5 is going to be as big of a hit as the previous Avengers films, because I just don't think the audience's care and passion is there like they were when those previous Avengers films were coming out. But we'll talk about the Avengers films in just a little bit. Trev's Movie says, thinking about doing a video on Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island this Halloween because it's terror time again. Yeah, probably Terror Time Again is probably the best Scooby-Doo song, I would have to say. I think of all the Scooby-Doo movies, the animated, the live action, whatever, I think Terror Time Again is their best, like, chase monster song. I listened to that endlessly when I was a kid, and you should definitely do a video on Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island because I want to see your thoughts, and it's probably the best Scooby-Doo live or animated Scooby-Doo movie, in my opinion. Dakota Man Movies, what's going on, Dakota? Thanks for joining us, saying Deadpool is next week, baby! Yeah, it is! Deadpool is next freaking week. Cannot wait. I cannot wait. Age Gift from the 90s says, I'm saving up for my first hot toy. That's very cool. I'm planning to get Luke Skywalker from Empire Strikes Back. Nice, dude. That's a great choice. Classic. Trev's Movie says, the trees begin to moan and the monsters grunt and groan. Rotting faces for this line. Don't you know it's terror time? Yeah, man. Lyrics rock. Still to this day. Age Gift from 90 says, I've learned a new power of being a YouTuber. Salesman tactics. It's all about marketing the video, making sure the thumbnail is not necessarily clickbait, but appeals to the viewer. Right on, man. Right on. That's something I still need to work at. For sure. Collective Movie Man, what's going on? Thanks for joining, dude. He says, hey, Zach, I just wanted to tell you that I'm going to be doing a Movies That Made You with Zach tomorrow, so I hope you're able to check it out. That's awesome, man. I will be out tomorrow night. I have a Bible study. I might be able to jump in there, though, for a little bit, periodically. So that's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that with my buddy Zach and you. I did Zach's Movies That Made You. It feels like a faint memory. I think it was like 3 hours long, and I don't remember anything we talked about. But yeah, if you guys want to check out my episode on Zach Attack Reviews channel of the Movies That Made You, it's up there, and I had a good time doing it, even though I faintly remember it. Nathan Dunn Movie says, rewatching and showing my brother Deadpool 2 while on this stream right now. Nice, dude. Always an honor to be part of the multitasking, and that sounds like a good time, man. Trev's Movie says, did anyone watch Sausage Party Foodtopia? I thought it was fine, but if you thought the food orgy at the end of the movie, just wait until you see what Seth Rogen's hot dog and Will Forte do. I had no idea that Sausage Party Foodtopia was out right now. I saw the trailer. We actually reacted to the trailer on Members Talk Live a couple weeks back, but I totally forgot when it was coming out, and I had no idea that it was out. So you learn something new every day. Nathan Van Movie says, thoughts on the Captain America trailer? Yeah, the Captain America Brave New World trailer came out. So this was going to be a topic, but then I decided to switch it out because the trailer's been out for just so long. What I will say is that I liked it. Like, we kind of talked a little bit. We talked last week about kind of what the trailer, in my opinion, needed to do, and that was kind of show the audience that this was going for that Winter Soldier type vibe, and I definitely got that sense from the trailer this time around. I really liked the opening scene of him, Anthony Mackie, and Harrison Ford, and, Harrison Ford is now playing Thunderbolt Ross, who we lost, William Hurt, who played Thunderbolt Ross, and the previous iterations. And I really like the line where he was like, it's either lose the mustache or lose the election, just kind of like a wink and a nod as to like, yeah, I'm a different person, but I'm the same character. I always like when movies do that. And then from there on, it was just kind of like a series of flashes of action, and the action looked cool. I do think the Falcon and Winter Soldier kind of, I don't know, hurt it a little bit, because it did kind of feel like, to me, the trailer did kind of feel like, oh, they're promoting a Disney Plus show. Oh, wait, no, this is a movie. This is a movie, not on Disney Plus. Okay, gotcha. That was just me, though. Did anyone else feel that? Did anyone else get the Disney Plus show vibes from this movie trailer? And, of course, the last shot you have to talk about, Red Hulk. Look, it's super cool that they're doing Red Hulk. I'm excited as much as the next person is. I didn't like how they did it in the trailer. I thought the way that they revealed it in the trailer was kind of lackluster. At the very end there, just like one shot of him like throwing the shield down. It came so abruptly and jarring. I just didn't think it worked for me in the trailer. What I really liked was the poster they released, where it's Captain America's shield and the Red Hulk hand is holding it. I thought that was awesome. Like, I wish that's kind of how they teased a Red Hulk instead of just like showing him in broad daylight for like 2 seconds. I don't know. There was something about it that just kind of felt lackluster to me. But as far as my full thoughts on the trailer for this go is, like, I think Anthony Mackie looked great. It felt like it had the Winter Soldier vibes. It looked good. The action looked good. And, yeah, I'm excited to see Harrison Ford in the role and what they're going to do with it, because it's been going through massive reshoots for so long. They basically shot a whole new movie. Is Betty Ross even in it? Is the Incredible Hulk connection still going to be there? Is the leader going to be the villain? Like, did they keep all that? Did they scrap all that? I'm very curious to see what this movie is going to be about. Trez Movie says, sorry if you thought the food orgy at the end of the Sausage Party movie was messed up, but just wait till you see what's... Oh, did I go up? I did go up. Did I go up? Or... Oh, you sent it twice. You sent it in twice. Okay. I already read that one. Trez Movie says, I already got a theater poster of Deadpool and Wolverine. I was so happy seeing the movie Wednesday night. That's awesome, dude. I'm assuming you mean you're seeing the movie Wednesday night next week. You're not seeing it tonight. But that's awesome, man. The theater poster for Deadpool and Wolverine. Hang that with pride. Hang that with very proudly, my friend. Collector Movie Man says, "Hey Zach, I recommend that you don't see Longlegs because there's some devil stuff in the movie." Oh, thank you, man. I'm glad to. Yeah, I checked out IMDb Parents Guide, and it just didn't kind of seem like my kind of movie. So I didn't see Longlegs. As you can probably tell, I didn't have a review or talk about it or anything like that. So yeah, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you looking out for me for that kind of stuff and letting me know. I really do. Trez Movie says, I'm also ashamed that I watched Fruitopia before The Boys Season 4. To its credit, Fruitopia did release all the episodes at the same time. Well, that does help. That definitely does help. Collective Movie Man says, I'm seeing the new Twister movie tomorrow. Very exciting. Yeah, I'm seeing it on Friday. Again, wasn't a huge fan of the first Twister. I just watched it for the first time, but I'm still looking forward to Twisters. I'm still keeping my mind open. And hey, the effects will be updated, so it could be pretty cool. Trez Movie says, when it comes to I Am Sam, my mom loves that movie, but I can't not think of that episode of Comedy Central's Drawn Together where the princess's cousins can only speak in reviews of that movie. I have no idea what you're referring to, Trev, but I want to look it up immediately right now. Collective Movie Man says, wait, tomorrow's not Friday. I thought it was. Oh, man. Yeah, dude, you're about 2 days early. Tomorrow's Thursday. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. Nathan John Movie says, will you watch Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1 tomorrow? My brother is hyped for it. Will I? Absolutely I will. I'm so excited for Cobra Kai Season 6. That's probably going to be like most of my weekend plans is getting through Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1. So excited. I debated whether or not waiting till Part 1 and Part 2 came out and then just binging them all, but I couldn't wait. I got it. I'm going to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch it. It's been too long. Cobra Kai never dies, but it's been gone for a little bit, so I'm looking forward to it returning. I cannot wait. Trez Movie says, Ajax, nah, it's Francis. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Francis. Francis. Yeah. Great stuff. And Ed Skrein from Rebel Moon. I kind of forgot that he was the villain of Deadpool. It was kind of funny seeing him back in that. Collector Movie Man says, I will tell you my list of movies that I will be talking about with Zach on movies that made us on Saturday. Childhood is Aladdin, Lion King, Empire Strikes Back, Titanic, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and Gladiator. That is quite the diverse childhood of movies there, man. Collector Movie Man says, and it's 6 disc, and there are 2 different versions of the movie, 3 disc bonus features. What are we talking about now? I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure what we just referred to. I think my brain either farted or I don't know. 3D Movie Cinema said, hey Zach, where's Miri? Oh my goodness, that was bad, dude. That was bad. 3D Jake is in the house. Hey man, how you doing? You excited for Secret Wars? I kind of hope they pivot to Doom, but it's like Doom's dynasty and leader of Doom, Julian McMahon 05 TK. Well, I kind of lost you at the end there, man. But first of all, thank you so much for being here, Jake. Thank you for joining us, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And you know what, actually? With that said, Jake, let's get to our first topic of the night, and let's talk about some Avengers Secret Wars, because we got some news on that, people. So let's go. Let's talk about topic number 1. And topic number 1, when I can get there, is going to be this. All right, guys. So we kind of know that the MCU has been trying to rebrand and rebuild with its audience. And we also know that San Diego Comic-Con is just around the corner. And they need to make a big splash with this Comic-Con. This is going to be what rides on Marvel for the next couple years. Is this Comic-Con, the San Diego Comic-Con? We got Deadpool and Wolverine coming up. That's definitely helping with the hype. That's definitely helping with the excitement. But San Diego Comic-Con, they need to deliver for the fans something of concrete confidence. And what it looks like they're planning on doing with that, if you ask me, is the Avengers announcement. Because we have just gotten word that the Russo brothers, you know those Russo brothers that did Civil War, did Winter Soldier, did Infinity War, did Endgame, did pretty much the top 4 best MCU movies subjectively, depending on who you ask. If you ask me, I would say that like the 4 best MCU movies that Marvel has ever made, done by the Russo brothers. Well, it looks like Marvel is going to be grabbing those 2 guys back to do the Avengers again. This comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. And they have to say, Joe and Anthony Russo are assembling a team once again. The Russo brothers are in early talks to return to Marvel Studios to direct not just one, but the next 2 Avengers movies, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. The hiring ends a month-long high-stakes search for the studio for filmmakers to oversee the 5th and 6th Avengers movies. Multiple names were in contention, including Deadpool and Wolverine's director Sean Levy, who, by the way, I totally would have been okay with. I would have liked to have seen what he could have done. Who was offered the gig, but sources say that the talks are in early stages. The move also marks a homecoming for the Russos, who jumped from the world of TV comedy and shows like Arrested Development and Community to blockbuster movies a decade ago with Captain America Winter Soldier. In total, they directed 4 of Marvel's biggest and best-regarded movies, going on to helm Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Combined, their Marvel films grossed $6.6 billion, with Endgame standing as the number 2 movie of all time globally with $2.79 billion. And on top of this news coming out of the Hollywood Reporter, there's other sources like Deadline and Variety also reporting that the Russo brothers are not just wanting to come back or being brought back into the Marvel fold with Avengers, but they are also going to be a part of numerous projects happening in the near future. Now, this is all, as it said, kind of unconfirmed. Marvel didn't give any comment. The Russo brothers agencies didn't really give any comment. But this is what is going on right now, apparently, at Marvel Studios. They are talking to the Russo brothers about coming back and doing 2 more Avengers films. And so where do I stand with this? Well, first of all, let's talk about how the Russo brothers absolutely killed it with Infinity War and Endgame. I love those movies to death. They are definitely my favorite of the Avengers films. So as far as the best directors for the Avengers go, they are on the throne right now. They are the top pick. They are number 1 for me. Let's also not ignore the fact that when Anthony and Joe Russo left the Avengers, and went and did their own things, didn't pan out as well for them. Now, they had some hits in there. I mean, The Gray Man did very well on Netflix, but, Cherry with Tom Holland, that didn't do so great. I believe the Extraction movies are pretty beloved. I haven't seen the Extraction movies, all fairness. So I haven't seen everything that these guys have done since they left the MCU. But what I do know is that the fandom is a lot less enthusiastic about what Joe and Anthony Russo put out there after they left Marvel. So coming back to Marvel, doing Avengers, getting that hype back up for them again is great for their careers, is great for them as directors as well. And let's also not sugarcoat it. This is the safe choice. If we're being honest, this is Marvel's safe bet. I mean, they have tried for the past 2 or 3 years to get new voices, to get new creatives, to get more out there, crazy, wild ideas and filmmakers to come into the fold and make their products. And it just hasn't exactly hit with the fan base, with the general audience, as much as the MCU has in the past. So bringing the Russo brothers back to do Avengers 5 and 6, yeah, that is the safe bet. That is options that have worked before. We already know people love them. We already know people have loved what they've done in the past. So we're going to bring them back, which I don't think is a bad idea. Just because it's a safe bet, just because it's kind of a no-brainer, this is going to work type scenario, I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that that's necessarily something Marvel should be avoiding right now. I do think that the talks of them coming back, being around this time, being in the articles at this point, I think that this is their big boom at San Diego Comic-Con. I think Marvel and Hall H, they need to have that moment where the fans just go nuts, where the conversation on Marvel switches from this, I don't know what Marvel's kind of doing, to, yes, they are back on track. And I really do think that if Kevin Feige stands up on that San Diego Comic-Con stage with Avengers blah 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 behind him, and then Avengers Secret Wars back to back, the titles on screen, and then he pulls out Joe and Anthony Russo and announces them as directors, Hall H is going to go nuts. Twitter is going to go nuts. All the YouTube talking heads are going to go nuts talking about this. So I think it's a good move for Joe and Anthony Russo, and I think it's a good move for Marvel, and I think it's great for the Avengers films, because these are the high stakes. This is the bread and butter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you cannot get the audience to go to these Avengers films like they used to, they are in some serious trouble. I don't think Marvel's there yet. I'm not on the Marvel's crashing, everything's burning down train that some fans are on when it comes to Marvel, but I will say that these Avengers films need to kill it. They need to do well, and going back and getting Anthony and Joe Russo, not a bad idea. If this, in fact, is true. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of the Russo brothers coming back to do more Avengers movies? Are you guys excited for that? Are you tired of the Russo brothers Avengers films? Do you think that they need to move on once and for all? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about that, guys. And before we go back to your comments and questions, because we are on a shorter timeline than we usually are, I want to leave as much time for your comments and questions as possible. So we're going to do another topic here, and that topic is going to be this. Now, if you're watching this and you have a YouTube channel talking about movies of your own, you're probably a big fan of Chris Stuckmann. If we're being honest, Chris Stuckmann is probably why a lot of us are doing what we do on YouTube. I mean, he's definitely is an influence and inspiration for me. I can tell you that much. He's probably one of the first movie reviewers I ever watched on YouTube, and he is without a doubt a pillar and a pioneer for movie reviewers in this space. So I have been very curious and very excited to see his directorial debut with Shelby Oaks. For those of you who don't know, Chris Stuckmann is a movie reviewer on YouTube. He is now transitioning to being a director, and he's got a feature-length movie coming out, a horror film, a found footage film that he's been working on for like the past couple of years. Now, this horror film that he was working on was fan-funded. It was fan-funded by his subscribers, by his supporters. People, pitched in, bought early copies of the Blu-ray and merch and all these kind of stuff to help him even get this thing created. And ever since Chris Stuckmann has been working on Shelby Oaks and has gotten it created, there has been big development after big development after big development, whether it be the cast that he got, which are some pretty notable names that have worked in Hollywood, whether it be Mike Flanagan coming on to help be a producer and help Chris Stuckmann put his film together. He has just had win after win after win after win with this thing. And his biggest win may have just happened because the little itty-bitty fan film, or fan-funded film, I should say, Shelby Oaks, that Chris Stuckmann has been working on for the past couple of years, just got picked up by a very notable studio. This comes to us... sorry, Joe and Anthony. Goodbye. This comes to us from Variety, and here's what they had to say. Fresh off the success of last weekend's Longlegs, Neon announced Tuesday that it has acquired worldwide rights to Shelby Oaks, which was written and directed by filmmaker and YouTube creator Chris Stuckmann. It marks Stuckmann's feature directorial debut. The film is described as a documentary found footage crossover. It'll have its world premiere at Fantasia Festival on Saturday. Neon will release the film theatrically in the U.S. and handle international sales. Shelby Oaks stars Camille Sullivan from Hunter x Hunter, Brendan Sexton III from Don't Breathe 2, and Sarah Dern from Where the Crawdads Sing. It follows a woman named Mia as she frantically searches for her sister Riley, who ominously disappeared in the last tape of her investigation series, Paranormal Paranoids. Stuckmann's film benefited from a 2022 Kickstarter campaign, which raised $1.4 million for the film in under a month, making it the most funded horror film in the service's history. Stuckmann's criticism of movies, video games, and anime and TV is widely viewed on YouTube, and he has authored books, including the film's all that kind of stuff. Who cares? But big bottom line here is that this movie just kind of became what some could call an official movie, because this isn't just going to end up on some streaming service anymore. This isn't just going to be Chris Stuckmann on Tubi or wherever this was going to end up. This is Neon, which, as mentioned in that article, has Longlegs in theaters right now. Longlegs is killing it in the box office right now. It's a big hit for them. But along with Longlegs, Neon has done some very notable films, and this is the library that Chris Stuckmann's directorial debut is now joining. Check this out, guys. This is some films from Neon. We got Babes, which is a big movie kind of being talked about right now. But on top of that, we got Longlegs as well here. We have Immaculate, which also got a lot of big praise and big word of mouth this past year. Infinity Pool, which looked incredibly weird, so I didn't even bother watching it, but a lot of people went out to watch that. They've got other notable ones here, like the Old Boy remake. They've got what else have they done? They've done the Triangle of Sadness, which was a big one from last year as well. We've also got them. There was a couple other ones here that I wanted to point out. We also had the Worst Person in the World got a lot of notable praise and support the past couple of years. Palm Springs was a hugely underrated film when it came out. A lot of people loved that one. Probably their biggest one to date that I can think of that they've done is Parasite, which Parasite actually ended up going on to win an Academy Award, which I'm not saying that Chris Stuckman's going to go on to win an Academy Award either, but that's pretty cool. And, of course, the biggest one I think they've done is Tonya. So this is a very notable studio. This is a studio that has put out a ton of great movies. Now, granted, not all their movies have turned out great. Granted, not all of their movies are huge successes or even that well known. So I'm not going to say that this is like catapulting Chris Stuckman into Oscar conversations. I'm not saying that this is catapulting his movie into award conversations. Heck, his movie might not be good. I have full faith and confidence in Chris Stuckman that it's going to be good. I'm very excited to check this out. But even with all those concerns in the way, even with all that to talk about, this is huge. This is a huge moment for Chris Stuckman. This is a huge moment for movie reviewers, for people who are fans of movie reviewers on YouTube. Just in general, this, depending on how this movie turns out now, this could be one of the most awe-inspiring, one of the greatest coming of director stories that we've gotten in modern times with Chris Stuckman. And it's so well-deserved for this guy who has been such a pioneer for this space, for people who love movies. I mean, my movie loving, my love for movies, I should say, definitely increased by watching Chris Stuckman, by learning about film through Chris Stuckman. I could not be happier for the guy. I think this is great news for him. I think this is great news for Shelby Oaks, and I think this is great news for us because Neon is going to give a lot of people opportunities to actually get to see Chris Stuckman's directorial debut on the theater screen as opposed to at home on streaming services, which I think is just amazing. Couldn't be happier for the guy and cannot wait to see Shelby Oaks. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of Chris Stuckman's movie being picked up by a studio like Neon? Do you think that that's really exciting? Do you think that Neon just makes crappy movies? Are you not a fan of any of those movies that I pointed out? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about that, guys. And before we get going back into the comments and questions, actually, you know what? We are going to go back to the comments and questions. We'll save the last topic for later. So let's get back in and see what you guys are saying about this. Where'd we leave off? Here we go. We got Earth 2 saying, hey, why do you start an hour earlier? Well, we've changed up our summer times just for the summer, just because there's so much happening in the summertime. So if I can pull it up here. So we've got a new schedule just for the summertime. This is going to go until September. I don't know how late into September this is going to go necessarily, but that is our now schedule. I tried to get every time zone in there that I could think of. But yeah, that is what we're doing for the summertime. Just cause, just cause, like if I get invited to go, swimming at my folks' place at like 9 o'clock tonight, I'll probably go do that. Enviro 2 says, any news? Oh, sorry. Live chat. Any news on Spider-Man 3? Oh, you mean Spider-Man 4? Not that I've seen this week. I haven't read anything. I've been looking at the news cycles. I've been looking at the movie news, entertainment news. I haven't seen anyone talking about anything new for Spider-Man 4. So unfortunately, no. I can't give you anything, man. Oh, sorry. Enviro 2 says, what will you wear for Halloween? Probably that thing right there, and I won't leave the house. That's how that goes. Collective Movie Man says, my movies that made us live stream with Zach is Saturday, not Friday. Okay, on Saturday. Perfect. I'll probably be able to jump. Well, I mean, depending on what time it's at on Saturday, but I will definitely keep an eye out, man. I definitely want to check that out. If anything, I'll just listen to the replay. Collective Movie Man says, definitely will. I keep on thinking today's Thursday. Yeah, man, that's the worst. That's the worst when it's like, it's Friday. Oh, nope, my brain tricked me. Now it feels like the week's even longer. And with Deadpool and Wolverine coming out next week, you don't want any weeks to be longer, that's for sure. Toxic Gamer, Olo Zach, what's going on, Toxic Gamer? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Says, how's your day been? It's been all right. It's been hot. It's hot. It's like 41 degrees outside Celsius right now. And My AC broke at the end of last week, so I'm sweating. I am hot. It is hot in my house. It is hot outside. I've just been hot. That's all. That's how I've been. How was my day? It was hot. How have I been? It was hot. That's all I got. Tox Gamer says I just came back from seeing Twisters in theaters. Nice, man, and it was a lot of fun. I personally liked it more than the first Twisters, but it's not perfect. Also, will you be seeing Twisters this week? Yeah, so I am planning on seeing Twisters on Friday. And I just actually watched the first Twister for the first time yesterday. And I'm hoping that Twisters is better because I wasn't a big fan of Twister. I thought Twister was fine. Very B-movie. If it didn't have the cast that it had, I don't know if what would be stopping it from maybe being on, like, TV, a made-for-TV movie. I mean, the effects at the time, I'm sure, were great. I'm sure the effects that were in Twister in the 90s were phenomenal. I'm sure they were. They just didn't really hold up very well for me, for the most part. Some of it did. There was some cool practical stuff in there, too, I will say. But, yeah, I'm hoping Twisters is better, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. Doxgamer331 says, Long Legs I saw and thought it was a great return to the serial killer movie genre like Silence of the Lambs. Nice. Yeah, I heard great things about Long Legs. I didn't go out and see it myself personally, but I'm glad you had fun. Toxicgamer331 says, I hit 800 subscribers the other day. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. I mean, keep going, man. Keep going. You're killing it over there. 800 subscribers. 1K is on the way, my friend. Congratulations on that. Go subscribe to Toxic Gamer if you guys haven't already. Toxic Gamer says, I would say for Long Legs, for the demonic bits, there's not that much. There's only really some characters saying Hail Satan and some signs, but otherwise, I wouldn't say it's very demonic. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Still not something I necessarily want to go watch. Dark Movies, what's going on, Toby? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Been a while. He says, hey, what's up, Zach? Long time no see. It has been a long time with no see, dude. I've missed you in here. What's going on? You're working on your short film. I saw the trailer not too long ago. Very, very cool. And I hope that's going well, dude. How far along are you? Let me know how far along you are with that project. Collective Movie Man says, Zach, did you order anything from Prime Day? I ordered 10 items and I got my first 2 items today. Nope, didn't order anything. Probably should have, but I didn't. The View with Drew. What's going on, Drew? Thanks for joining us. Saying, hey, everyone, what's up? Excellent news. I'll be seeing Deadpool and Wolverine opening night. Yeah, man. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's go. Let's effing go. I'm so excited. Next week will be the Deadpool and Wolverine Eve for me. I cannot wait to see it. So excited. Toxic331 says, the other day I also bought some stuff. I bought the 4K for Mad Max Fury Road, 4K for 8 film collection of all Harry Potter movies, and the 4K Steelbook of Halloween H2O, Wednesday Season 1 Blu-ray. That's awesome, dude. The Wednesday Season 1 Blu-ray. Nice. All right. Yeah, that's Mad Max Fury Road's great pickup. The Harry Potter's great pickup. I don't know about Halloween 2 H2O. I haven't seen Halloween H2O, but that's awesome, dude. And you got the Iron Claw on Blu-ray. That's awesome, dude. Toxic331 says, you haven't seen the Extraction movies yet, Zach? I do recommend them, especially the second one. That was in my top 5 favorite movies of last year, or top 3. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I tried watching the first one, and I wasn't really getting into it. I think I got like 45 minutes into it, and I was just kind of like, this isn't really my thing. I'm not really enjoying this movie. And then people told me to just skip the first one and just go to the second one, That's not how I work, though. You know, that's not how I work. I gotta watch it in order. I gotta watch them in completion. And because I wasn't into the first one, I just never really bothered to go see the second one. Or I guess to click on the second one. I didn't have to go anywhere to see it. It was at home. But yeah, maybe I'll give them another shot. I'll probably give them another shot because I heard they're great and I do want to see Extraction 2. Toxic331 says, James from Dead Meat YouTube channel is supposedly in an up-and-coming movie role, which we don't know what movie it currently is. It is, what's your guys' guess? What's your guys' guess? Well, I have no idea what he could be in. If he's in if horror is his thing, maybe he is in a cameo of Trap. Maybe he's in a cameo for Megan 2.0. I don't know what he could be in. But there has been YouTubers that have gone on to make appearances in movies and be in movies before, so it's not like totally new for that to happen. And I'm not saying that Chris Stuckman's like the very first YouTuber turned director ever. Of course not. But it is pretty huge what he's got going on right now. What we got here? We got Trev's Movies saying I have both of Chris Stuckman's books, The Film Buff's Bucket List and Anime Impact. Nice. I've always wanted to get his Film Buff's Bucket List, but I never got around to it. But yeah, that sounds like great reads, man. Tosky331 says Friday, Zach Milne versus Zach Gully versus Stan Kramer is happening for the social media championship on WWE 2K24. They're all going down. I got this, man. They're all going down. Dark Movie says you should try one of those movies that were there on the list, Handling the Undead. It's a Norwegian horror film. I'm guessing you're talking about that was on the Neon list. What was it called again? It was called Handling the Undead. Handling the Undead. See if I can find it on here. Probably can't in the time that we have. Nope, can't find it. Can't find it. Sorry, man. But yeah, maybe I'll have to. Oh, Pig was also on here, and Pig was high praise as well. People loved Pig. Yeah. No, like I said, he's in good company. This is a good library to be added to for sure. Collecting Movie Man says, I definitely like Chris Stuckman. I started watching his videos when he started collecting Blu-ray and 4K and DVDs, and then he would do videos where he would show off all of his movies and stuff. I loved those videos. I used to love those videos so much. Him and Flick Pick doing the Flick trips were like my favorite. Sometimes I'll even go back to the playlist and just like watch the videos that had Flick Pick and Chris Stuckman both in them, because when those guys were together, I miss them. I miss them together. I hope the friendship's not dead. I know John moved. I know Chris is working on a movie, but I really hope they're still friends. Because their videos used to be the best. I used to watch them like on the weekend, or they'd post when I was waking up on like a Saturday morning, and I'd watch them. Like, I remember there was one video, I think it was during the Batman vs. Superman era, and they went to Toys R Us together. And I don't know, I'd have to watch it again to see if it still holds up, but I was laughing. I was also like 16, but I was laughing so freaking hard at everything they were doing and everything they were saying. I'm yawning. I apologize for that. Yeah, no, I loved everything that those guys did, and I miss seeing them together. I really do. Collective Movie Man says, I've never seen I, Tonya or Pig. I've heard Pig is good with Nicolas Cage. I've heard that too. I've also never seen I, Tonya. I've had many opportunities to see it, and I just never have. So I gotta get on that because I hear it's phenomenal. Trust Movie says, how dare you? That was the original Old Boy, a masterpiece. Whoopsie. That's my bad. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to misrepresent, I should say. Misrepresent the masterpiece that is Old Boy. I apologize for that. All right, guys. Let's see here. We got Toxic Gamer 331 saying, what's the most overrated movie of this year so far in your opinion, and what's the most underrated of this year so far? That's a good question. The most overrated, I might go with Fall Guy, because Fall Guy was beloved by people, and I mean, people were shouting from the rooftops how great the movie was before the movie came out, and how much of a tragedy it was that it bombed. And I thought it was good. I definitely liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, especially from like the movie making perspective. But I didn't think it was great, and I didn't love it like a lot of people did. That or Monkey Man. I think Monkey Man was a little overrated for me too. I liked Monkey Man. There's been some people, I don't know where they got the narrative from. There's been some people saying that I didn't like Monkey Man. I did like Monkey Man. I just didn't see the big crazy hype of an action movie that it was for a lot of people, and that's fine. As far as the most underrated movie this year, I mean, it's not the most underrated, but it comes to mind a little bit, is Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown on Netflix. I don't know, man. I think me and Zach Attack Reviews are the only two people in the world that actually liked that movie, and I don't know why. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I guess it's not everyone's cup of tea. But that would be my picks for the most overrated and underrated. Underrated also could go to I would say Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, actually, but that was loved. I don't know. People don't talk about it that much, though, anymore. People aren't really talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as much as they should. I still hear people talking about Dune Part 2. I still hear people talking about Madam Web for the reasons that I don't want people talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, like people talking about Madam Web for the appropriate response to that movie, but no one's really talking about Kingdom anymore. Kingdom came, Kingdom went, and I think Kingdom was awesome. It was great. My second favorite of the year. So, yeah, definitely underrated. Oh, you know what? And Abigail. Because I don't know how many people saw Abigail, but more people should have seen Abigail. Abigail actually might be my underrated pick. I know a lot of you guys are probably going to pick Lisa Frankenstein. I hear you. I see you. I'm not with you. Just personally. Dark Movie says, I got a pack tomorrow for a Denmark trip, so it's bedtime. But great seeing you live. Yeah, great having you back here, man. Thank you so much for joining us, Dark. Have a great trip, a safe trip. And the show is made better because you are a part of it, my friend, and I appreciate you, dude. You have a good night. Tox Gamer says, also, I realized you started streaming a lot earlier than usual. Yep, we changed our summer times. We have changed it for the summer. Going to be going at 6 o'clock now, Pacific Standard Time, just to start earlier and finish earlier and get to bed at a decent hour. And like I said, it's hot. And the heat, I'm in the heat all day at work. Not all day, but a lot of my job does revolve going outside and being in the heat. So I get really hot at work. And then as I mentioned before, my AC is completely down at home. Not looking to be fixed anytime soon. So it's super hot here. And when I get super hot, as I'm sure a lot of people do, I just get drained, I get tired, and I get unmotivated. So this is just to help me kind of stay motivated as opposed to going from 7:30 to like midnight and then being dead tired the next day. This just gives myself a little bit of a buffer to still do the show the way I want the show to go, but also to not kill myself, basically, unalive myself. Can I say that, YouTube? Are you going to demonetize me? Is this video already blocked? Does it say the live event has ended or the live event has been taken down by YouTube? I'm sorry, YouTube. Unalive myself. Does that sound better? Because it sounds, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Some of these, some of these buzzwords, man, that YouTube has, you really got to be careful. Collective Movie Man says, I saw Titanic when I was 9 years old, and then I saw Gladiator when I was 10 years old. Wow, man, that still seems really young to me to be watching those movies. I saw Titanic for the first time when I was 18. 19, maybe, actually. And then I saw Gladiator. Gladiator was... When did I see Gladiator? I watched it on my... No, that was probably 18, 19 as well. I watched it on my own. Tox Gamer 331 says it's getting closer and closer to my birthday. That's awesome, dude. I mean, what day is it? You gotta let us know so we can wish you a happy birthday. Dark Movie says, last thing before I go to bed, my short film is doing great. Still doing some clipping and sound design, and then lastly we'll do some color grading. But other than that, it's soon ready to release. That's very exciting, man. That's very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got cooking up over there. All right, guys. Before we go on with the comments and questions, and then we'll go on for the comments and questions for the rest of the night because we just got one more topic that I want to hit before we do that. So, topic number 3 and the final topic of the day is going to be this. All right. So, full disclosure. I have not seen the film Horizon. I have not seen Kevin Costner's Horizon, so I am not going to speak about the movie itself. I can't speak to Horizon's quality, whether I liked it or not. I can't speak to any of that. But on the topic of Horizon, since you asked, it didn't do great. Didn't do very good in the box office. Did people go see it? No, didn't do great. I think it had an $11 million opening weekend. And Kevin Costner, I mean, hey, all props and credit to him. He put all of his hard-earned money into this himself. He funded it. He had passion for it. And he had not just one, but 2 Horizon movies ready to go. Part 1 had already come out in theaters this past month. And in August, we were going to get Part 2. Until Part 1 came out and no one went to see it. Now we're no longer getting Part 2 in theaters. It's been pulled from the release date and it's been delayed indefinitely. Who knows? We don't know what's going on with Horizon Part 2. But it sounds like Netflix may be interested in setting up the Horizon Cinematic Universe over on their station over there. Here's what they had to say over at the World of Real. This comes to us from the World of Real, and this is written by a guy named Jordan Rooney, who says, so this is what I've heard. After Amazon failed in nabbing Kevin Costner's Horizon, Netflix had now also made an offer to acquire the film. The streaming giant would particularly help in funding chapters 3 and 4, but most of the budget would still be financed by outside parties. The plan would be to release each chapter months apart on Netflix, with potential plans to eventually, if Costner agrees, turn it into an episodic miniseries. No word yet on whether Costner is interested, but that's the offer as it stands. No details on how much Netflix has coined up for Costner in the deal, but I wouldn't be surprised if Costner refused to offer the deal that was offered for two reasons. The streamer very likely didn't put up enough money on the table to cover Costner's cost, and one, they have no interest in releasing these movies in theaters. It's no secret that Netflix has been trying to get their own version of Yellowstone going. Of course, Horizon isn't the answer, but it would definitely bring some of that audience to the platform. Costner has already partnered with Netflix on the original movie The Highwayman. In recent years, he's also had quite a few of his older movies top the Netflix charts, including Let Him Go, Draft Day, and Mr. Brooks. And that comes to us from the world of Real. So they kind of already touched upon it in the article. But you can't deny that the big reason why Netflix would probably want to do this is because of Yellowstone. I mean, Yellowstone is perhaps the biggest television series playing on TV right now. And, of course, Kevin Costner was the lead of that show. He's left the show. He went to do Horizon and all this other stuff that he wanted to do. He left Yellowstone. So it is a little bit – it looks a little easy to say that Netflix just wants to get this to have a Yellowstone of their own, which, hey, you know what? Netflix isn't wrong in thinking that way. If you look at that as the biggest show on TV, which is kind of a Western, is kind of thriving in that sense, then yeah, Horizon, the guy who did Yellowstone, was a part of Yellowstone, is now doing another Western type thing, bring it over to Netflix, might get some new audience there. Now, I am all for theatrical releases. I am all for movies, going to theaters, people seeing them on the big screen for the first time in a collective environment. Like you guys know, I love the theater. I love movies. I love the movie theater. I'm all for that. But the bombing of Horizon really didn't surprise me at all, because this is not the kind of movie people go to the movie theaters for anymore. People just don't go for Westerns. And on top of that, this thing was like 3 hours long. So yeah, it was very ambitious to do part 1 and then just a couple months later do part 2 without knowing how part 1 was going to do. And as mentioned before, part 1, it didn't do great. If we look at here from Variety, it says Kevin Costner confirms that he spent $38 million of his own money on Horizon. Not the $20 million being reported, but $38 million of his own money was put into Horizon, which, again, props to him. Good for him. He had a passion project. He wanted to get this made, so he made it himself for $38 million. However, Horizon, which is still in theaters right now, maybe not for much longer, depending on where you are, domestically has only made $27 million up until this point. This comes to us from Box Office Mojo. $27,423,110 is domestically what Horizon has done so far. Opening weekend domestically was $11,052,056 or $561, and internationally did $3 million, and worldwide it's made $30,980. And I really don't think Horizon has much more in the tank. Unfortunately, it looks like this thing is going to come out and lose money. And I don't think that this is a situation where it's going to build an audience. People are going to discover it and then be like, when's part 2 out? Oh, it's coming out on streaming. Or it's not on streaming. It's coming out in theaters. Let's go check out part 2 in theaters. I really don't think that this is going to be that kind of situation. Like Dune Part 1 came out during a pandemic era. It was also day-to-day released on HBO Max. It did fairly decent, and then Dune Part 2 came out and just skyrocketed in its box office because people discovered it. I don't think this is going to happen with Horizon. I really don't think that Part 2 is going to do much better business than Part 1 did. And you also have to take into account, too, the theaters can choose whether or not they want to bring this into the theater or not. And if you're looking at August, and you're looking at what's coming out in August and what you can have in your theater, and then you look at Horizon Part 2, after looking at what Horizon Part 1 did, movie theaters, they might choose to pass. They just might choose to pass on putting this movie in their screens because, you know, they got to make money, and Horizon may not be the way to do that. It just may not be the way to make money. So I honestly think that Netflix is a good way to go. A streaming service for this kind of thing is a good way to go, because that's kind of where these movies lie. These movies, that's kind of where they exist now. They're on Netflix. People discover them. I think Horizon, once it hits Netflix, and I think once Horizon Part 2, if it does hit Netflix, I think you'll see it in the top 10 of Netflix. I think people will watch it, especially, we know Netflix doesn't always do the best with their marketing, but if Netflix were to market this and actually give it a chance, I think it actually could be a pretty big streaming success for them. And a 3-hour-long movie at home is just a little bit more digestible, a little bit easier for people to watch than setting all the time aside to go to the theater for, you get the trailers, all that kind of stuff. You're looking at maybe 3.5 hours, and then the ride home, you're probably looking at like 4 hours, 5 hours out to go see Horizon. And as we see from the numbers, not many people chose to do that. So honestly, I think that it's a great idea to move this thing onto a streaming, to move this thing onto as big of a platform as Netflix. And whether or not Kevin Costner gets a big payday out of that from Netflix, like the article says, they may not be giving Costner the money that he wants. I don't think Costner's going to get the money that he wants either from the theaters. So I honestly think putting this on Netflix, one, is going to give it more of an audience and more eyes on it. And two, will also benefit Costner a little bit more if they're willing to pay for it, because I really don't think Part 2 is going to come out in theaters. And if it does, I don't see it doing much better than Part 1. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of Horizon possibly moving to Netflix? Do you guys think that that's the right move? Do you guys think that that's what Kevin Costner should do? Do you think that he should jump on the Netflix wagon, or do you think he should stick to his guns and just put it in theaters? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about that, guys. And with all that out of the way, those are all the topics we have for tonight. So we are going to just be taking your live comments and questions now. Starting with Sully Streams. What's going on, Sully? Thanks for joining. I hope you had a great time on your honeymoon and your marriage is going well. I hope you're having a great time. Thank you for joining us. He says, popping in to say that the Russo bros coming back doesn't excite me much. It's a safe choice. It is very much a safe choice for both parties that are a bit on the decline right now, but everything non-MCU from the Russos has been booty. Everything non-MCU from the Russos has been booty. That's what a lot of people feel too, man. I've seen a lot of fans saying the same thing. Now, like I said, I haven't seen everything that they've done, so I can't speak to that, but what I will say is the narrative that you were painting there seems to be the correct narrative. But yeah, absolutely. Total safe choice. But in some ways, safe may be a good thing for the MCU right now. Toxgamer331 says the action sequences in Extraction 2 are awesome. That's what I've heard. That's one of the reasons why I want to watch it. Toxgamer331 says, I didn't start watching Chris Stuckmann until after Cody Leach and Sean Chandler. That's crazy, man. I've been watching Chris Stuckmann for probably over a decade now. I probably discovered, yeah, absolutely over a decade, because I probably discovered him back in 2010, 2011, I think was when I watched Chris Stuckmann for the first time. So it's been well over a decade. It's going to be very cool to see his movie come out. Toxgamer331 says, I remember watching the Flick Pick and Chris Stuckmann's review for Krampus, which I remember how much the movie traumatized me when I was younger. Krampus. I watched Krampus. Krampus was kind of fun. I don't know what the general take on Krampus is. I don't think it's great, but I do think it was a lot of fun. Anyways, yeah, no, I remember watching that movie when it came out on streaming. The ending kind of freaked me out, but I like the practical stuff. I thought the idea was kind of fun. I don't remember watching Chris Stuckmann's review for it, though, so I'm going to have to go back and rediscover that. Toxgamer331 says, also, have you seen Krampus? Yes, I have. Just speaking of. Toxgamer331, you know what? I'd be down for a Krampus too, by the way. If they were going to do another Krampus, I'd be down for it. Toxgamer331 says, I like Damsel too, while not perfect. Yeah, I really enjoyed Damsel. So I'm definitely going to put that under the underrated category. I'm glad you liked it too. Collective Movie Man says, I am pre-ordered the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for Steelbook because it finally went down in price. When it first got announced, it was $65.99. Holy moly. And during Prime Day, it dropped down to $34.99. That's pretty awesome, dude. Yeah, snag that. Get that. Don't let that pass you by. I still got to get my my order for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes for sure, because I love that movie. Can't pass up on that. Michael11591 says, hey, Zach. What's going on, Michael? Thanks for joining us, dude. Collective Movie Man says, my uncle took me to both movies, Titanic and Gladiator. Nice, dude. That sounds like a great time. Um, I do want to see Titanic on the big screen one day. Titanic and Gladiator would be cool to watch on the big screen one day. But you know what? I might get that chance with Gladiator too in some ways, so that's pretty cool. Talks Game with 51 says at the beginning of June my AC broke down, so I feel your pain, brother. Thank you so much, dude. Sweaty fists, right? Sweaty fist pump. I give you a sweaty fist bump. I am so sticky. I'm not even gonna lie. Is that too gross? Whatever. It's very hot. It's very hot. Hot. That's not what I want this. Talks Gamer says my birthday is August 1st. Nice, dude. It is coming up. That's very exciting. Trev's Movies says Chris Stuckmann is kind of an icon of mine. I've watched his reviews for years. Yeah, Chris Stuckmann has definitely made a name for himself in this space. He has made a legacy. Him and Jeremy Johns and all those guys back in the day, man. They gave me some of the best memories on YouTube. Like just watching their stuff and inspiring stuff. It was and aspiring to be like them too. It was fantastic. I miss those days from 2014 to 17. I think 2014 to 2017 was like the prime years in my mind of Flick Pick, Chris Stuckmann, Jeremy Johns, Collider Movie Talk, the Schmoes Know live show with Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis and them and John Schnepp and Collider Live was also kind of around 2016, 2017. Yeah, there was some really great stuff. Does anyone also Screen Junkies? No, let's not forget Screen Junkies. Movie Fights, Honest Trailers, what was that Nick Mundy thing? And what was his name? Hal Rudnick. Hal Rudnick had a show too, and Dan Merle and all of them were on that. Oh man, I loved Screen Junkies, Collider, all that kind of stuff was just, oh yeah. That's like my teenage days of loving movies was those guys. So good. I wish I could go back some days. I really do. Does anyone remember Comic Book Girl? What was her name? She had like the pink hair and everything. Comic Book Girl 1990 something like that. I can't remember what her name was, but she was good too. I haven't seen her in a little bit. Toxic Gamer 331 says, "Have you seen The Lost Boys yet?" Sorry, man, I haven't. I still haven't. Toxic Gamer 331 says, "Keep watch past Burn. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, The Batman, Man of Steel, Avengers, Endgame." Okay, well, I burn Man of Steel. Not because I hate Man of Steel. I'm not a DC hater or anything like that. Henry Cavill as Superman's fine. I just, of all those movies, I like that one the least. So I'll burn Man of Steel. I'll pass The Batman. I'll keep Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, I'll watch Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and I will keep Avengers Endgame. I will not get rid of Avengers Endgame. Absolutely not. Collector Movie Man says, "I heard that he sold like 3 of his houses to make this movie." Yeah, Kevin Costner, like I said, props to him. Credit where credit's due. Kevin Costner put it up, man. He put all of his bets on it. And, look, didn't work out. Didn't work out probably the way that he was hoping it would. But, hey, at least he got the movie made, right? Can never take that away. It will always be made. Collective Movie Man says, "I think they should still put it on a streaming service, but they should go with either HBO Max. I think they should at least put it into theaters maybe for like a week or 2. I mean, that's the thing is like if HBO Max isn't biting, they can't just necessarily like, hey, HBO Max, take it. Pay us to take it. Unless they want to give it away for free, which I doubt Kevin Costner would want to do. So if HBO Max isn't coughing up the pony, but Netflix is, honestly, I think you take Netflix. I think you take Netflix. I mean, it is still the biggest streaming service in the world. So, is that true or is that outdated now? At one point, it was the biggest streaming service in the world. Lisbeth says, "What do you think of Cobra Kai being separated into 3 parts? In my opinion, they should have just released the whole season." It depends how long it is. I haven't looked into how long it is. Maybe I should do that now. How long is Cobra Kai Season 1, Part 1? How many episodes? Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 1. Oh, 5 episodes. Part 1 of Season 6 will have 5 episodes. Part 2 will follow with the next 5 episodes. And the third part will release sometime next year with 5 episodes. Okay. So in total, you get 15 episodes. Yeah, I don't know. 5 seems really short. Because these aren't like hour-long episodes either. Cobra Kai is not usually that long. So yeah, 5 seems really short. I'm kind of with you. I kind of do wish that they. Well, I'm of two minds because on the one hand, I just want to watch it now because I'm someone of like, give it to me now mentalities. So I would rather just like be able to watch all of it all at once because I want to. But spreading it out does make it last longer because this is the final season. So it is going to be kind of nice to have those breaks where I'm still like craving to watch Cobra Kai season 6 as this is its final season and my final time that I'll get to do this, anticipate the next episodes. So in terms of wanting to watch everything right now, I do wish they just dropped the whole season, but split it into 3 parts like this, I'm okay with because it'll keep hopefully the conversation going and the anticipation up. I will say though, I hope that these episodes feel like parts. I hope it feels like part 1 is a story in and of itself, part 2 is a story in and of itself, and part 3 is kind of a story in and of itself, and they all kind of work together in that way. But I hope it feels satisfying by the time I get to the end of episode 5. Because it says here that part 1 comes out July 18th, and then part 2 doesn't come out till November 25th. So that's a time period to wait for part 2 for another 5 episodes. So hopefully they make it worth my while. Trez Movie says they re-released Titanic last year in theaters in 3D. Probably where you are, my friend, but not where I am. My theater doesn't really do re-releases, so I don't get that. We got Collective Movie Man saying, I've been very lucky. My air conditioner has not broke yet, but the good thing is about my apartment, they have generators here, so if we ever lost power or something like that happened, very nice, man. Yeah, no, my whole thing is down. It's not even power, it's just broken. It sucks. But hey, you know what? I live to see another day. I'm getting through it. I got you guys. I got the show. We're having some fun. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. I'm just hot. Talking with 51 says, how would you rank 3C films? Cody Leach, Sean Chandler, Stuckman, Flick Pick, Jeremy Johns. Unfortunately, I'd have to put Flick Pick at the bottom because he kind of doesn't do much anymore. And when he does do stuff, it's mostly just live streams. So he unfortunately kind of fell off. But if we're going like their whole longevity, everything they've ever put out, I will put Cody Leach at the bottom just because I'm not a big Cody Leach watcher. I watched a couple of his stuff, but I never really... he's not one I watch consistently. He's just not. So I'll put Cody Leach at the bottom. I'll follow him with that's tricky. I'll follow him with Flick Pick. Because Flick Pick has some great stuff in the past, but I can't deny that he's doing less, and that's totally fine. Like I think he's married at this point. He's got a new job. He's loving life, so good for him. His channel is just not as active as it used to be, which is unfortunate. So Flick Pick is next. Then I'm gonna go 3C Films. I really like Chris. I really like his stuff, but I'm gonna go. You know what? Actually, I think I'll go Stuckman next because I really am enjoying. I watch a lot of Sean Chandler stuff. Like if Sean Chandler posts, I watch it, and that's the same with Chris Stuckman. But like, I just like the variety of stuff that Sean Chandler has. You know, like Chris Stuckman, he has a lot of movie reviews, especially over the longevity, the whole career of him on YouTube. He's got video essays and editorials and fun adventure videos and all that kind of stuff too. So like he does have variety, but in terms of like these past couple of years, I feel like his variety has lessened. And of course he's kind of moving away from doing the YouTube thing. He's going off to be a director, so that makes total sense why he would his content would lack just a little bit more. But Sean Chandler, like, I watch him almost every day, I would say. I watch either a ranking video of his that's new or of the past. I watch his How Would I Fix It videos. I watch his Blu-ray collection videos that he would sometimes do. I watch his live stream clip outs that he does for movie news and comments and questions. I watch his hot takes videos, which I'm really enjoying his hot take videos right now. I watch his movie reviews. I watch his TV reviews. I watch his TV rankings, his movie rankings. I watch his shorts. I watch his I watch almost everything Sean Chandler puts out, and there's so much variety and there's so much stuff to watch there. I honestly think he's my favorite right now. I'm gonna put Sean Chandler at number 1. I forgot Jeremy Johns. Jeremy Johns is number 1. Jeremy Johns is going to be number 1, and then because even though Jeremy Johns has a very consistent format. It never really changes up. It's always a red background. It's usually a review. He's always entertaining. He always does something unexpected in his reviews with his videos that just make them so much more than just a guy standing talking to a camera. He's really good at his editing with his green screen. So yeah, I'm gonna put Cody Leach at the bottom, followed by Flick Pick, followed by Stuckmann, then Sean Chandler, and my number one is gonna be Jeremy Jahns, because I watch a ton of Jeremy Jahns as well. Trev's Movie says, I remember where I was when I first heard about Chris Stuckmann making Shelby Oaks. I was watching The Jerk for the first time in my basement. That's a great memory, dude. I don't remember where I was. Not even going to lie. Collective Movie Man says, Zach, I don't know if I asked you, but what did you think of the Gladiator trailer and the Agatha All Along trailer? I'm interested in Agatha All Along, but I probably won't watch it till next year. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. Gladiator 2's trailer I thought was epic. I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. It got me totally on board for the movie, which I was a little bit hesitant about. I was very curious about it because I love the first Gladiator, and doing a sequel with Ridley Scott at this phase in his career, I'm a little bit dubious about. But I thought the trailer looked great. You could definitely see like the $300 million budget on screen. I just hope it makes money. I really do. Which, you know what? As new information comes out, opinions can change, and that trailer killed it. That trailer got a lot of views. I think it got like 150 million views on that trailer alone. So, hey, that at least shows that there's interest. That shows that people are curious. That shows that people are at least interested to see in what this could be. So that might translate to the box office. So Gladiator 2 might do better than I expect. As far as Agatha All Along goes, I'm kind of conflicted on it, because it feels like the furthest thing from a Marvel product, which I kind of like, but at the same time, it kind of felt like Disney's Haunted Mansion. It felt a little bit too taken away from it. It feels inconsequential, I think is the best way I can put it. It comes out during Halloween. It's going to be a fun little romp with goblins and ghouls and supernatural elements, whatever. I'm not a huge lover of the Agatha character anyways. I thought she was good in WandaVision as the villain, and Catherine Hahn was great with Agatha All Along and stuff like that. Not quite sure how she's going to do with being a lead, if I'm being honest. Just like the character, not Catherine Hahn, because Catherine Hahn's great, but the character itself, I'm not too sure how I'm going to feel about her as a lead. I thought that the trailer did have some really unique looks that kind of felt WandaVision-esque, so I liked that. But as far as getting me on board, if Agatha All Along was coming out tomorrow, would I immediately sit down and watch all the episodes? Or would I give it a day? I'd probably give it a day. I probably wouldn't be rushing to watch Agatha All Along. So, not a bad trailer, but didn't really get me that much more excited for the overall show, to be honest. Lisbeth said, I started watching How I Met Your Mother, and while it's not the best sitcom, it's a fun way to spend my time. How I Met Your Mother is, in some ways, really brilliant. Some of the episodes of How I Met Your Mother did, and some of the jokes were, honestly, some of the most fun and some of the most clever sitcom writing I've ever seen. I don't know where you are in the show, obviously, but when you get to the slap bet, the way that they execute the slap bet, not just I don't want to give it away. But they let that joke, that whole scenario, go on for so long, and it works so well, and it's so creative, and it's so fulfilling each time it comes back up. So yeah, I watched all of How I Met Your Mother. I won't lie to you. Prepare for a disappointment at the end, possibly there, but the journey there is pretty fun. It's pretty great. And I never did watch How I Met Your Father because I didn't care. ToxGamer331 says, I'm a head out now. Great stream as always from a great guy. I'll be sure to check out your Twisters review. Have a great rest of your day or night. And here's to your AC getting fixed. Thank you, buddy. And pizza time. Well, thank you so much, ToxicGamer331, for those kind words and for that support. And the show is made better because you were a part of it, my friend, and I appreciate you, dude. You have a good night. Collective Movie Man says, I just don't like Netflix because they don't put anything out physically. HBO Max does. That's fair. I would say Netflix puts out things physically very rarely. I wouldn't say they never do it, but it is very, very rare. Trez Movie says, finally watched American Fiction all the way through. Great movie, but found out that I had already seen a good half of it because I saw it last December and I had to leave halfway through, sadly. Why? I haven't seen it yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think I own it. I think I have it, so I'm looking forward to it. Do I own it? You guys would know. I definitely probably gave it away. Yeah, I have it. Yeah, American Fiction. I gave that away with Jacob Hubbard. Of course I do. Of course I own it. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, though. Collective Movie Man says, I'm not watching Cobra Kai till next year because I'm not getting Netflix back until Knives Out 3 comes out. Oh, okay, fair enough. Doing the churn, not too bad. I'll be honest, Netflix may be the biggest streaming service. It's one of my least watched streaming services. I don't watch much Netflix. I really don't. I watch more Disney Plus. I watch more Amazon Prime and stuff like that. But I don't really. Netflix is probably the lowest one. Trev's Movie says, what streaming movies or shows do you want to see get a physical media release? For me, Wendell and Wild, Rescue Rangers, Harbin Hotel, Season 1, Beavis and Butthead, Do the Universe, etc. A lot of stuff that I wanted to get on physical, they actually ended up doing. The Marvel Cinematic Universe shows, they're putting those out on physical now. They put out Prey on physical, which made me very happy. I wouldn't mind getting, my wife and I are big Monk fans. The show Monk, they did a TV movie, I guess you can call it that, for Paramount Plus last year. I wouldn't mind getting Monk. Monk's Last Case, was it? Yeah, Monk's Last Case on physical copy. That would be pretty nice. As far as other ones go, Knives Out 2. I want Glass Onion. I want Glass Onion next to the Blu-ray of Knives Out. I want Glass Onion right there, and they haven't done it yet, and they should. That's probably my number one. Is Knives Out Glass Onion, because I love Glass Onion and I want it next to Knives Out on my shelf. Collective Movie Man says, do you still watch Chris Stuckman's reviews when he puts them out, Zach? Oh yeah, all the time. Once I've seen the movie, or if I'm not interested in seeing the movie, I'll still watch his review. Trev's Movie says, Palm Springs is another one I want on physical media. Yeah, they got to get on that. Absolutely. Lisbeth says, yeah, it's cool how they extend 5 slaps in 6 seasons. I'm in season 7. Okay, and started just 8 days ago. Yes, I loved the slap bet. I loved the way that they played that out throughout the episodes. And whenever Marshall slapped Barney, whether it be randomly in an episode or at the end of something that resulted in him deserving to be slapped, I cackled. I laughed so hard each time. I thought they did it brilliantly. Trez Movie says the Criterion Collection did release Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio on 4K Blu-ray, so I'm thankful for that. It's one of my favorite animated movies. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. I didn't know that they released that on 4K anywhere. I wasn't the biggest fan of Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro's. I liked it, but like people loved it when it came out, and I thought it was fine. I liked it. Lisbeth says, my brother told me that the ending to How I Met Your Mother is so horrible. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's so horrible. It's just disappointing. At least for me, it was disappointing. Trez Movie says, I honestly would like to have Ted Season 1 right next to both Ted movies on my shelf. Dude, I'm right there with you. I loved Ted Season 1 this year. That was one of my biggest surprises because wasn't a big fan of both Ted movies. Ted 1 was fine. Ted 2 was fine. I thought the story was a little bit more engaging in Ted 2 than the first, to be honest. But I did not expect to like Ted Season 1 as much as I liked it. I thought it was much better than both movies, and I would love to have it on physical. I'm right there with you. Collective Movement says HBO Max is the one I watch the most of. I'm watching 5 different TV shows on right now. Harley Quinn, the original Batman animated series, and the documentary called San Diego Zoo. Yeah, they got a lot of variety on there. I don't have it yet. I don't have HBO Max. I'm definitely gonna get it when the Penguin comes out. But just having to cut costs, I didn't get HBO Max. Trez Movie says, when you said Marshall slapped Barney, I had a total different image in my head. I imagine it's the purple dinosaur. I imagine. Collective Movie Man says, Harley Quinn, the show is so crazy. I can't believe it's animated and it's so violent, and they pull off so many things that animated shows shouldn't do. It makes me laugh. I hear Harley Quinn is great. I've never gotten on to watch it, and some of it doesn't sound like it'd be my type of humor, but I hear it's great. The Ace Avenue, hey buddy, he says, man, I loved Inside Out 2. Saw it last week. It is the best movie of the year so far and very emotional. It is in my top 5 for sure. I don't know how high it really goes. It might be top 3. It might be top 3. I really did like it. I thought they did a wonderful job with Inside Out 2. I'm glad you liked it too, man. I mean, it's probably the best Pixar movie they've had out in years. Collective Movement says in season 3 there's an episode where Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy have intimate relations, and they actually show it, but what they do is they fuzz out the inappropriate stuff. That's funny. That's a good workaround. With that, guys, it looks like we are all caught up on the comments and questions. So that is going to be the show for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here, everybody, for contributing to the chat, for just talking, for hanging out, because you made the show better. Every single one of you made the show better because you were a part of it, my friends. I appreciate you. Once again, a reminder, Members Talk Live, we're doing a rewatch. We're doing a discussion on Logan. If you want to join that, if you want to join the chat, you can join at $2.99 a month. Or if you want to actually join us on the screen, as long as you're 18 and older, $6.99 a month. All the information is down in the description below. Check out those Deadpool and Deadpool 2 discussions we just had. The Logan one will be up on Monday. And then next week is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine. So excited. Elizabeth is asking real quick what my thoughts on Despicable Me 4. Thought it was fine. Definitely kind of feel like I've outgrown the franchise, to be honest. But it was cute. Collective Movement says, and then I'm also watching the show The Wire and another show. I haven't seen The Wire. I hear it's one of the best shows ever, so I got to get on that. And Ace Avenue, guys, he says, I'll be there. It should be fun. He's going to be there for the Logan discussion. Cannot wait to see you there, my friend. All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for all the support for the Super Chatters, for the Ace Avenue Super Chatting. Thank you so much. Check out our last week's Super Chatters, the Ace Avenue and Jason Entertainment, down in the description below. We'll see you guys again next week. Same exact time for the summer and same exact channel. Take care.